old Presbyterian nursing home.
Start again from these.
I'm sorry, Presbyterian nursing.
No, from this column.
The columns.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from the. It was a nursing college at 39th and Market, and this was the entrance to that 39th and Market address, and basically they were saved by Presbyterian Hospital when they tore down the building. It was only there from 1889 to 1910. I don't know why it was torn down so quickly. Must have, maybe Will's Eye was right. I don't know what was right there. Maybe it was that big home, that big nursing home there. But at any rate, the columns were laying in the dirt over on Sloane Street. And my friend had called me and said, gee, would you like to have some stone columns? And maybe I told you this in the interview, that it was a dream come true, because I had just finished a project with Joe Rischel, former curator of European art, and it was called the Splendors of 18th Century Rome. And it was a time when the 18th century Philadelphians would send their children to Rome to study art. And I thought, what an incredible thing, to have this great story. And then this friend of mine over on West Powelton said, would you like some columns for your garden? And I'm like, what? I didn't script this. This is kind of amazing to me that so many things can just happen. Serendipity, I guess that's sort of what the word is. And so we gathered them up. These we were able to put jacks on, and I borrowed some equipment from the art museum. These things are pretty darn heavy, probably about 500 or 600 pounds. These I was able to just load into the truck, but they were all separate elements. And from the art museum's head of conservation, I learned that the best way to do these is to not put mortar, like you might think. You put mortar on the outside edge and you set it in mortar. No, there are two holes in each element, and then a non-ferrous, like stainless steel or bronze pin that holds each one of these elements together. Now it's a little funky up here. I forget what happened, but I may need to address that if I want it. But I also put it to a place where I took the biggest guy I could find, and I said, palm out, let me see you touch these columns. And he could just barely touch them. So there was no room for Herculean Drexel efforts here. I didn't want anybody knocking the columns of the dome of the temple down, So that's basically that's the spacing,
Right.
No one.
That would have been Samson.
Right, the Samson thing. And then, so they have a foundation, they have these pins, and then this came from the art museum. It was the Martin Puryear had a wonderful show there in the fountain of the East Courtyard. And there was a major structure built in the fountain to house his inverted obelisk. And after the show, they're looking for places for all this junk to go. And I saw the stone, just dump it over here in the garden. You saw over there on the other side, the river jack. That's all from this. They filled the fountain with it after they put in this pressure treated plywood and these big structure. This wood was the structure. And then they had just basic platform for the art to be displayed. 3 months, and it had to go away. And I was just quick to jump on these opportunities to get these things for our garden. And so it ended up, extending the brick patio a little bit more, and that worked out well. We have electricity running throughout the garden. There's a pole over there behind the shed where we bring electricity down, and throughout there's there's trenching throughout the garden for electricity. This shed has electricity. This shed on the other side has electricity. And there's water lines that run sort of with all the utilities sort of run in the same trench. And there's a little bit of a map. So if anybody's really digging aggressively, they'll know that they could get electrocuted if they hit a wire, bring them together, and water.
I think it was by the pond.